Is Paradox Junction a good map? Now I know what you're saying with all the leaks that had happened before Asmodee came out and us realizing that we're getting another Nuketown map, first being Black Ops 2 and then Alpha Omega and Black Ops 4. I really doubt that this would like help out the community given the fact that now there's like this stigma going around where like every like DLC 2 where it's just an automatically bad map like the Tomb, but I feel like the Tomb and Paradox Junction are like completely separate in the sense that the Tomb was like a very like small map because of how Liberty Falls was seen being popularity and of all the camel grinds and reused one weapon that being the ice staff and like just not making sense why the ice staff is there and reuse enemies and like a very short Easter egg and like an underwhelming boss fight, and that's where like the problems of Tune has. And with Paradox Junction, I feel like the only problem is that it's a reused map of Nuketown, and I feel like before Black Ops 7 came out or like during the life cycle of Ashes of Dam, there was already leaks coming out where like about these like futures map, like a map based on New York being like nuked during World War II, an Afghanistan map, um, a map that took place during an erupting volcano in a Japanese village, and a space station map in the Dark Ether space station, and I feel like they were about to do those, but like developing time, of course, I feel like they could never do that, and I feel like Nuketown, Paradox Junction was supposed to be this um the Richtofen map of World War II, New York City being exploding. And I feel like I think a lot of things change. Of course, things will change. This was leaked like before Black Ops 7 was even teased out. And what the story basically is of Paradox Junction is like a time loop, and I guess like during interviews they said that Nuketown fit perfectly, which doesn't make sense. I feel like Nuketown is like a horrible choice. I feel like if they were gonna remake a map, I think a map they should have done is Blood of the Dead or Mob of the Dead, because they already have the map. It's on Warzone Rebirth Island, and they could have reused it. And the one weapon, the Blunder Gap, also is on that map and is also on Paradox Junction, which I feel like could have made more sense given it, but it's what we got, and I feel like the map is really small. It might be like the smallest maps that we have gone, and we're gonna talk about the negatives of Paradox Junction. And I feel like the biggest one is, like I said before, the map being Nuketown over again, and it's taking like inspiration from the Black Ops 2 version where we have like these fire tornadoes and like it's all destroyed like that. And I feel like it's like made better given the fact like it's like better graphics. I feel like Black Ops 2 Nuketown was more grayish and like very harmful because of how like the flow of the game goes. Because in Black Ops 2 the perks will have to fall from the sky, so there's Pack a Punch, but in Paradox Junction they're already there, and Pack a Punch is by a little side quest, so you wouldn't have to wait round by round, which is something I feel like they missed on. I feel like they could have like done the perks dropping from the sky, and I know like the time travel stuff it won't allow it, but I feel like it still should have been like the past part. I mean the future. They could have had like the perks falling in the sky like one by one until like round 5 during the play count rounds, and we automatically gone to the new map. And like again, Pack a Punch quest like simple as usual. I feel like people complaining about Pack a Punch being so hard, like I don't really get the argument anymore. Like I feel like after a while, I feel like Pack a Punch eventually gets easy to unlock. I feel like Cold War did it right, where it's just simply like doing some simple stuff and boom, Pack a Punch. I feel like that like doing like a little like quick side Easter egg for a Pack a Punch. I feel like that's enough. We don't have to do like a Shadows of Evil where we have to do like 4 rituals to open up Pack a Punch, or a Shangri-La where we had to like communicate and to open it up, because in the older games like it's like much more harder, but like modern mechanics, like you're already powerful from the start, so might as well give out Pack a Punch some slack. And that's not really a huge issue with me. But another issue I had is like the reintroduction of the play counts, which they tried to disguise them as radar hounds, but they're play counts, and they have the same model as the ones from MW3 with the Hellhounds. I feel like Hellhounds would have done better, and yeah, it's just a reskin of play counts. And another one is the introduction of the shock mix, I don't know why they added them back. It makes no sense why the shock mammoths are back. We saw these all the way back in Firebase Z, and that made sense of that map because the like that's where we remain. And then we saw them once again in Modern Warfare, and then again on the Tomb, which I don't know why. And then a part of the Easter egg step in Astro Malorm, and it's a relic. So like they're just overdoing with the mimics, and I feel like the mimic has already been done to death. I think it would be better if we didn't have any special enemies and have like a map that is just zombies and like the Hellhounds or Ravagers, which I'm glad. I'm actually glad they didn't bring back the Ravagers, and also because also it's just a small map, and like I played Paradox Junction like for a while, and like I slowly realized that the zombies just you get overwhelmed really easily once you get to the higher realms because it's such a small map and how the way zombies are with like the swing, so you'll get like hit a lot. It just feels like Black Ops 6 over again with the constant hit span and like replenishing armor. I think the general Nuketown area is just too tight, but when you go like over to the pack punch area, like there's a little more room, but still like the zombies just keep going everywhere. It's like Black Ops 4 over again. Black Ops I had a huge issue where like zombies just keep popping up out of nowhere and just break your path, and it's like happening again. So and it's like even more intense if you turn on the rampage inducer, and that's another problem, that the map is just too small. I feel like Nuketown is just too small of a map for modern zombies. But again, like within the lore, I guess it makes sense. And speaking of the lore, the Blundergat has returned with a new variant with like this, I forgot what it's called, but it's like what they did with the shield and BO4, and like looking through the trailers and playing with it, it kind of reminds me of the what's it called, the wolf bow from the Rising track. It really reminds me of, and when I played it, nope, nope, it sucks. The new variant absolutely needs a buff. Like it's like so painfully bad. I don't know if I'm not using it right or what, but it's just so bad. And even the regular Blundergat is bad. And to put like more salt into the wound, the other two variants are not even in the map, which I feel like are missed opportunity. That being the Acid Gat and the Magma Gat. And I feel like they could have like added them at least like as a little side Easter egg. They don't have to be part of the main Easter egg, but I mean, we have plague hounds, radar hounds. That could have been like someone like used to make the acid, yeah, and like I guess they could have used something like the fire tornadoes. They do use the fire tornadoes for the I might call it the afterlife blundergat, and they do use it, and like they could have done something with that, like with the fire tornadoes, and like use it to make the magma get. I don't know, or even like the spores. Like you collect those like the spores to make the acid gas, and I feel like the execution of building this wonder weapon was way more better than the tomb. I feel like it's just finding in the ground and just building it. I think Paradox Junction wonder weapon build was way more better executed. There was way more steps involved with it. And it has you like using the maps mechanics of going back to the future, back to the past to get these parts to teach you to use more later on to the Easter egg. But yeah, the wonder weapon sucks. It's not good. I think a problem with like modern zombies water weapons, if they're not infinite damage, they're gonna suck. And I feel like we started to see this in Black Ops 2 with the beam smasher and Gorg effects and the ray guns variants on Shadow Bell. I think that's like all the negatives I could say that I could point off now. And there's a lot of positive. And one positive is like Treyarch actually like paying off previous maps. And what I mean by that is like for the longest time we have like seen these twins on Astros of the Dam and Astro Malorm. We had no clue what it is, and we had us like speculating like what are the twins. We thought like it was Ava Jansen's and the entity from Modern Warfare 3, and we did see Ava Jansen and the cinematic trailer for Paradox Junction, and we all thought that the twins were though, but no, they're like completely new characters, which I'm all for it. And I actually like the twins. They give some like comedic relief, like just two kids actually being kids, and I feel like that's something that the old like story like couldn't like got more in depth with like Samantha as a kid being like actual childish, actually childish, and not just being some angry god that just like has a few minutes of screen times and just just goes away for times and just comes back and do stuff. And I feel like that's something they missed out on the old Australia. But now they got like these two random kids that apparently like one of them was like from Nuketown, the other one was like normal. I don't know, maybe that's like up for speculation. And apparently they've been stuck in this time loop for like a long time. And us, the player, had like the freedom, like doing like these kids games, which kind of reminds me of I don't know, like Squid Game. I guess we're doing like fucking volleyball and like hopscotch. And like speaking of the Easter egg, I feel like this is like one of the best Easter eggs like steps to date. Like I can't remember the last time I played like a zombies map, and it isn't just getting the one weapon, do something, and then boss fight. Like this is really like in depth, and like of course you do use the one weapon, but like there's actual use to it. You're using the like the afterlife effect to gather souls to like to do these like trials, I guess, to move the box. And yeah, that's pretty cool. That's something that modern zombies don't do, is just like get the one weapon and boss fight. And I feel like that was a huge issue with Black Ops 6 in the later seasons, in the later maps, like for example the tomb, like it's the ice staff, do some trials and then boss fight. And then Shadow Veil is just getting the Rego and Mark II, do the rituals and then boss fight. Like, and that's something that I wish like we there's like less of that, because I don't like that at all. I feel like this is like the Easter egg step like rival with Mount Atonement and um Reckoning and Terminus, because those like Easter egg steps are like more in depth, but not really, not those two maps, not those maps. No. Just Mount Atonement. Mount Atonement was a good map. I love that map to death. But anyways, yeah, I feel like the Easter egg steps is like really fluid. But uh again, like another complaint, I didn't add this on because it was like basically a nothing burger, but I have to give like props to like the boss fight. The boss fight was like a heart, looks like the Margot heart from Shadows of Evil. I feel like the boss fight was also executed really well. And for the first time, it's not like the boss fight right in front of our faces that Black Ops 6 did a lot. Like in Sinnoh, the more we saw the golem right in front of our faces, Shattered Veil, the T-Rex, which was a surprise. But after that, like you just know, yeah, I'm gonna fight that thing when you play Shattered Veil. And then on Reckoning, like obviously we knew that we're gonna fight Richtofen or some the Sam AI. We didn't know until then, of course. Like it was like two Easter eggs. That was kind of cool, but that map sucks. And that's something that actually like we did not know. There was like nothing like visually telling us that we're gonna fight a horror. I thought like the kids were just like talking nonsense, and then we saw the fight. And this is like one of those boss fights that is not like a bullet sponge. Like it is, but you have to do like some stuff with the twins. It's basically like you could think of it like Forsaken, where you have to charge up these ritual stuff and have to protect them, and then later like the shield goes down and you go fight them, which is something I do. I like interactive boss fights, and we need like more of that. I think that's why boss fights like Sinnoh the More and Terminus like are really playable, because there's like different stages and things that the boss fights do, and it's not just like a bullet sponge like Shadowbear or Reckoning, where you just shoot critical spot, shoot critical spot, and shoot critical spot. That's another thing I'll give props Paradox Junction. And as a whole, this map have like surprised me, but not really, because again, I don't know if everyone thinks about this, but the replayability of this map, I feel like it's not there at all. I feel like this is a map where you just play it once and that's it. I feel like Astra Malorum and Ashes of the Damned have more replayability than this map. I feel like this map, and I know they're gonna do this, is just like a sake to make another survival map, because that's like a thing that they're pushing now and Black Ops 7 survival maps. And I feel like they just did Nuketown again just to do survival map. But also again, like the like dev time and stuff, we could never get that Nuketown, not Nuketown, that World War II New York apocalyptic nuke for Rick Toffit. And I like how they break the flow, and we're not finding a shadow smith, we're freeing the kids. And then we got like some teases for the next map, and we're going to a cold place. I feel like this map could have been better if it was like a whole different map, and I feel like they could like just rip something from the campaign and just like put some makeup on it and make it into a zombies map, which is what Cold War did a lot. All those other maps beside the machine were campaign maps, and I feel like I could let it slide. This just one time they could make a campaign map, and it's not like this is the first time um Treyarch or Activision like reused a campaign map to make a zombies. They've done that a lot in the older games. I wouldn't mind if they did that, or like take a map from Avalon or a Warzone map, or like the Rebirth Island to make Mob the Dead. Like missed opportunity right there. I mean, they brought the Blundergat in, bro. That time when the Wonder Weapon has more lore than the whole entire tomb, bro. That's just crazy. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video. If you like videos like these, leave a comment. Give me a like and subscribe, because I do miss like coming up with these ideas. I have a lot of ideas for the future, and if you hear from the Joji stuff, I'll still do more Joji stuff, but I'm switching contents right now. So yeah, that's about it.